Welcome to a new video from the 7th floor division. The target we are going to present now has been proposed to us by a YouTube user in a comment below our last video. For me it wasn't a completely blind target, since the user told me it was about some petroglyphs and forwarded a link also. I didn't click the link and proceeded to a first almost front-loaded target to see what were those petroglyphs about. This target has a human emotional aspect, an historical and geographical aspect, and a slight mystery aspect to it. From my first session I could see that we are speaking about the American continents. I caught the word Argentina and some terrain characteristics. A symbol I saw it was drawn on the petroglyphs. I actually drew the sketchy representation of the turtle symbol on the petroglyphs in the link. From the ideogram I drew, I saw something like a mesa with reddish ochre stones, sand, rocky angled structures. Then the idea that it would take 1,000,000 years to find out what those petroglyphs mean, although I didn't have any idea what petroglyphs we are speaking about. This was a hard target from reasons I'll explain immediately. Then I went on Google and typed Argentina rock paintings, and also clicked the link provided by the user. I want to say that just from the link provided and knowing nothing about petroglyphs, you could not derive their location, let alone finding their location without knowing it was about those particular petroglyphs from the beginning. This is how remote viewing is best conducted in blind conditions. Using the very scarce data I obtained from my first session and Google, I found out where the stones in the peak originate, which is an achievement by itself since there are many petroglyphs in all the cultures across the globe, and yet my subconscious led me to the Americas. From there my ability failed me and nothing more came to surface. It was time to give this target to the people in my group, the 7th floor division, on Facebook and let them completely blindly give me some good data, but in the same range. I wanted to know why those symbols were carved in the stone. So I'm going to gather the data here and present it unitarily, starting with the geographical aspects. From my session I could determine with high accuracy that it was about petroglyphs found in Rinconada Canyon area, New Mexico, US. While my colleagues were working on the target, each in his unique way, I took some time to decipher the meaning of the few symbols carved in that stone. Our data about the location was an open terrain with brushy foliage, tall rock peaks around two sides, red rock, reddish ochre, sand, wasteland in the middle of nowhere, flat land with no real discerning hills with small bushes, no trees. A flat, very flat area. Lots of gravel, small bushes and trees, and this is where one of my colleagues suddenly saw a strange burst of images linking to modern art, like tall, narrow pointed triangles of dark orange and blue colors. You could see for a long way to the horizon, and all these characteristics can be found in the area of the Rinconada Canyon, meaning that the geographical data was pinpoint accurate, but we were still missing the point. Who did the petroglyphs and why? We know that the petroglyphs in the area have a very long historical span, their age ranging from 300 years to more than 1,000 years ago, so this is one of the aspects making our subconscious unable to pick up the relevant data from such a large pool of events and ideas of all the people who carved those symbols across the millennia. I did a second session on the target and asked two colleagues to assist, and what I came up with was again scarce data, but just enough to find out the historical period the symbols were made. What I did was a special kind of remote viewing involving only writing, just as writing a movie script or using a computer language, letting my subconscious filling in the blanks. I used also binaural beats in my headphones to bring my cerebral waves to the 4 Hz frequency. I imagined I am the creator of the glyphs and I am in front of the stone. I was just in front of it, having just arrived in that area. I was thinking what to draw and where on the stone. I stood both hands on the stone, crouching, my head tilted forwards, waiting for an answer or a sign. My wife comes into my mind. I look at the horizon. I look left and right, still not knowing how and what to carve. All I know is that I am away from her. I have many concerns for her, and she may bear a child. Then I am so far away from her. I hope she is fine. I am alone. I am here to construct something. I am alone because something happened to me. I am a shaman, a smart person, male. Some words come to my mind as I am writing them rapidly on my computer. Shaman, engineer, career, La Costa, subterfuge, lonely, portrait missing Milwaukee. Then I suddenly see the image of a young man, a Native American with spear, feathers, dancing and singing. The next visual is a blur of something jumping at me, attacking me very fast, and then these words, the day turned into night. I have light brown gloves, leather boots, and I carved those symbols using a good knife, a big one perhaps used in war. I sense no other story of me in this place. I feel no connection to this place I'm into. I know I came a long way and there is a road. I am going along the road, trying to trace it to my point of departure. I get the idea of soldiers moving across time and space. The road takes me to a small camp area with small white tents. There aren't many people around, much of them being gone with certain tasks. I sense no Native American presence, but strange enough the word burrito comes into my mind. I know now that we are here to punish the savages, the Indians, and the word Albuquerque comes into my mind. Albuquerque coming into my mind is amazing simply because I am from Romania, and I don't know American geography perfectly or geology, and so little I knew that the Albuquerque mountain erupted, and from its ash and lava the escarpment in which we find now that Petroglyph field formed. The coincidence and pure luck idea is vanishing at this point. The burrito word and the idea of punishing the savages led me to question if there was ever a war between Mexicans and the Native Americans, and I found out that there was such a war extending from the 1600s up to 1915. From my uniform, I deduced I must be a Mexican soldier from the 1800s, which feels very lonely and is missing his family, being concerned about a woman and a child, and the child may have died, as one of my colleagues informed me. How did I end up in that escarpment, carving out symbols in stones, I am not sure, but that image of an Indian with spear and dancing could tell us something. I am not sure if I made it safely through that day or night. The Mexican soldier image is in a way entangled with the shaman Indian, because my colleagues saw actually an Indian too, performing a ritual there, dancing and singing lonely, no food or blankets to keep him warm during night. This Apache man is depicting death and asking for rebirth. He has a broken heart, and we all felt that emotional link too, quite deep. He seems not to be natural Apache, but a Nez Perce from Idaho, farther up north. He has been accepted by the Apache, and quite possibly married there. He is physically alone there, but there is a spirit present with him too. If these two characters are in fact one and the same, or if they've ever interacted and fought, we'll not know very soon, I assume, but this session brought an emotional quality to our remote viewing activity. As for the weird and mysterious side of this session, some reported an atomic bomb or first weapon, as my colleague told me. World War II, aliens and Nazca lines in a vision, humming an alien presence, deep wisdom, black pyramids. It turns out that this target was so hard to pick any information from, because the actual area of New Mexico was full of all these events, and we caught them in our session. The Trinity atomic bomb experiment was conducted near Socorro, New Mexico in July 16, 1945, and it was the first time ever a bomb was detonated there, so my colleagues were right saying these words: first weapon, atomic bomb, World War II. As for the alien presence, humming and wisdom, you must know that the Roswell is the city in New Mexico where an UFO crashed in 1947, so there you go. As for the Black Pyramid that I saw, is the Trinity Site obelisk, marking the place where the first atomic explosion happened. This being said, we end up another video of our 7th floor division. We tried to stay as close to remote viewing methods as possible and hope you enjoy our report.